When we're looking at Google Classroom, we're really looking at the evolution of technology use in the classroom. So I want to take it back to the beginning, where schools were first created. The focus on these schools would be depending on their class of the students, whether they were in lower or upper class. The lower class students would only get education based on reading and writing, basic stuff to do a job, where the higher class students would be able to study Latin or Greek. Within the last century, the focus has really shifted to education for everyone, and even most recently, teacher accountability for that education. In the early 1980s, the computer use in school started to be more prevalent, mainly for drilling and practice, so students really didn't have much that they could do with the computers except for learning facts. And then in the 90s, more software was becoming available for these computers so that students can be more creative. Unfortunately, though, a lot of teachers today still don't utilize technology to their fullest potential, maybe because they don't understand how to use it, or the lack of funds for having this kind of technology in the classroom and monitoring and all that kind of stuff. So in October 2006, Google released Apps for Education, which would be Google Documents, any of those kinds of apps. And that allowed students to have access to these word processing programs without needing to purchase them, which made it more readily available for everyone, really. In May of 2011, they released the Google Chromebooks, and that was pretty exciting because these were inexpensive machines that can, be put into the classroom with students. By 2013, Forbes reported that Chromebooks were in more than 2,000 schools. And really what caught on with these Chromebooks is that they really don't run an operating system on their computer. They have an operating system, but they mainly function through Google and all of the Google apps that they have. So if you're looking at using it for document writing, you have Google Docs, but this machine doesn't actually have the Docs program on there. It goes through Google. So the machine is super fast, and it's really easy to manage all of your files online. In 2014, they released Google Classroom, which just made every teacher's life so much easier because instant lessons, everything, videos, homework, announcements, everything is online and available to the students. Now the teachers don't really have to go to the printer or copy room to copy a million copies of an assignment that they're giving. They can just submit it online to their classroom through Google Classroom. One of the case studies that Google performed found that students were way more organized because everything was stored on the cloud, and they were more engaged because they were using this technology as a medium for creating and collaborating. Another really big thing about Google Classroom is it's taking what these students already know about social networks and they're utilizing it for education. And this is so big because the future is just going towards social networking, finding out who you know, what they know, who knows what, finding answers through the internet. The internet is such a big open world, and understanding really how to use the internet is going to get these kids set up for success when they get into college and into their professional careers. And Google Classroom gets them started with that. Thanks for watching.